Another gripe that I do have that I want to quickly bring up, this was something that when the postseason rosters came out, we kind of texted back and forth about, is the fact that Ahmed Rosario was left off in exchange for Colton Wong. Colton Wong, a guy that I believe was DFA'd twice this season, or maybe twice in the last 2 years. A guy that had a few at bats for the Dodgers in September. Granted, he looked okay in his bats. But Ahmed Rosario, not only is probably your fastest player on the team, is probably your best hitter against left-handed pitching. He was excellent against left-handed pitching this year, especially with the Dodgers. But the D-backs are only going to be starting righties, as if they don't have any lefties in their bullpen. And what happened, Josh? It came back to bite the Dodgers because in the biggest moment of the series, the Dodgers were down two, they were rallying, they had two runners on base, a lefty comes out of the bullpen. Instead of going to Ahmed Rosario, they have to go to Austin Barnes because that's what was left, Josh.
Yeah.
Austin Barnes had an at-bat in the biggest moment of the series. Even going back to game one, I think it was game one, the biggest moment at that point, when the Dodgers had the bases loaded, they turned to Colton Wong. And what happened? He got out. I said it then because I'm thinking, again, I get that there's not going to be any lefties starting for the D-backs, but you need a guy that can hit lefties off the bench. And what happened? It came back to bite the Dodgers. Now, does Ahmed Rosario deliver in that moment? Knowing the Dodgers, he probably strikes out and gets out of the innings over regardless. But the way that the Dodgers constructed this postseason roster, it's like years back, Josh. I don't know if you remember. It's very hard to forget. When in the biggest moment in the NLCS came, Steven Souza Jr. is taking at bats for the Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
They've done this in years past, and I don't know how they managed to mess up the bench, but leaving Ahmed Rosario off, having Colton Wong on, why? Josh, calm me down again. Bring me back down to earth. Calm me down.
I just, he hit 265 this year. Like, he
was a good hitter.
His OPS went up when he came to the Dodgers. Like, he had a better OPS with the Dodgers than he did with the Guardians. Like, he had a good season. Yeah, and he finished over his last couple of games of the season. He finished hitting 515, or he was 5 for 15. And over his last 15 games of the Dodgers, he was hitting like 275. Like, he was good to end the season too. And that's, it's disappointing because I felt like he would have been perfect in those situations. Again, it's one of those things where it's like he alone does not win the Dodgers that series by coming in and there's no guarantee that he comes in and does anything in any of those moments. But like, I certainly would have felt more comfortable with a more reliable, a more consistent bat coming in off the bench.
Yeah.
So.
God, it's just again, it's unbelievable. Season on the line, Colton Wong. Season on the line, Austin Barnes. Season on the line, Steven Souza Jr. Like, I think Billy McKinney, I think, was even in that scenario a couple years ago. Again, Ahmed Rosario might not deliver. He likely doesn't know when he puts on a Dodgers uniform, but I couldn't believe it, Josh, when that was the only option. Austin Barnes. And then he swings it. Ball went in the dirt and grounds out, and I'm thinking, geez.
We were talking about this on our preview show at how good Austin Barnes had actually been over the last couple of months.
That is true. That is true.
But still, there has to be another reliable bat. Like, you can't just switch. And then the other thing about game 2 was that they used the entire bench in that like 6th inning.
Yeah, they just emptied it.
The only guy left was Austin Barnes.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Again, that's my only concern. Those are my only issues. The Ahmed Rosario one being left off, starting, that's the craziest thing, Josh. All the guys that the Dodgers acquired at the deadline, Ahmed Rosario left off the postseason roster. Ryan Yarbrough left off the postseason roster. Lance Lynn sucked. Joe Kelly, one appearance. Like, all the guys, I guess Kike. Kike was the lone bright spot. Bring him back at all costs. That's the guy he's the only one that showed any heart at any point outside of Brusdar Gratterall. Kike's the only guy I ever show, and I guess Will Smith, he got kind of pumped in the 9th inning, but all the trade line moves that the Dodgers made went absolutely nowhere. So hopefully Andrew Friedman, Josh, he learns his lesson. He learns that you can't go bringing in veteran David Peralta and having him forget how to hit in the biggest moments. You can't go bringing in veteran Jason Hayward. Although it worked out during the regular season, he reverted back to his old ways in that postseason series. You can't go sign in washed-up arms like Noah Syndergaard. You can't go making these kind of moves. especially the way things transpired. You got to go get the big guys. You got to get starting pitching. You got to get bench pieces. You got to get all these other pieces. So, Josh, that pretty much wraps it up, I think. I said all I needed to say about the series. Do you have any final critiques, criticisms? Again, this is the airing of grievances, so if you're going to get it all out, now is the time to get it out.
I mean, I feel like we've covered most of them. It's just, for me, it's like this happens every year, dude. Like this happens every year where they just fall flat. And it's remarkable, like it really is. It's crazy the way that it happens too. When you have a team that has 4 guys with over 100 RBIs, nothing in the postseason. Like you have a team that all year was fired up at all points of the game, had energy. We joked, like people have said this too, like, oh, the Padres have all these guys, and the Dodgers are doing this with the power of friendship or whatever that meme is that circulates on Twitter. But like,
the power of friendship is not going to get it done.
And
the power of friendship is not going to get it done. I want the power of Philadelphia, Josh. I want that power. Give me that. Give me these guys.
They got to put a bell in center field.
Maybe, man. Power of friendship. I also think, Josh, the entire series, the Freddie was done once. Because nobody got to second base.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
I just love the whole when the people on Twitter that were like, "Oh, doing the Freddy dance down by 9 is like so stupid." Like, and it's like, dude, who cares? Who cares about whether they're down 9 or not? Like they haven't done anything. They haven't showed any energy. I don't care if they're down if they're down 14-0 and Peralta gets to second base and does the freaking worm on top of the bag. Like show me something, dude. I don't care if they're down by that much. Like I'm literally looking for any sense of life whatsoever. Give me a pulse, bro.
I will say it did look kind of ridiculous when they were down 9, but also you got to do something to get people fired up. So I don't hate it as well. David Peralta was getting hate, but it did. I was thinking, Josh, when they
could not care less about that.
When they were down on, I'm thinking, okay, this does kind of look bad right now, but someone's got to do something. So, David Peralta, that's our only double of the series. Oh boy, Josh, we need to end this before I really start to lose my mind.